Venture Vault presents the side quest story, the Verity Manor haunting.
Ever since I was a child, I felt as though something, I don't want to exaggerate, but evil has been watching me.
Content warning. This Halloween special side quest involves dark themes. If you consider content warning spoilers, skip ahead by about 10 seconds. Otherwise, here we go. This story contains gore, violence, death and child death, pregnancy and childbirth, infertility, and classism. Viewer discretion is advised.
And we're back. Okay, so the groundskeeper's family has been reunited. We are with Chuchu and Fanola coming to the side entrance. Theodosia was going down the stairs with Aegon to the parlor. We had that lovely touching moment with Dart and Father Ox in the laboratory, which I can never always say it that way. That's just how it's going to be. Where shall we jump to? So let's jump to Aegon and Theodosia, shall we? And I think Dart had just stepped out of the lab. Can you do a wisdom saving throw for me, please, Dart?
18.
18. Father Dicrust's voice is back in your head as soon as you take a step out of the room, and he does not like being ignored. He tried to seize control from you once again, wasn't able to. As you know, he does have a little less power in the daytime.
Is it daytime right now?
It is daytime right now.
Oh shit, I thought it was night. I just like under my breath, but not as hidden as I normally try to do it because I know that everyone knows now. When Dicrest is like expressing that he's angry, I just fully am like, I'm so fucking sick of you, man. I'm done with this shit. And then it just keeps walking.
All right.
Let's make our way to the study then, Theodosia. Let's head to the dining room. I have a feeling that we'll soon be joined by other key players. I know that today is not going to be easy, but we're going to do this together.
Of course.
Okay. And we make our way to the dining room quickly. I guess we start to hear commotion coming from other directions. I give her a seat at the head of the table. I put down the book. I put down any information that we have so far, which I think includes the genealogy line and whatever. And I explain the gear in the we encountered what we think was the cause of the fire. In the library, the study, there's a fireplace. We encountered an apparition of Hestia. She was complaining of a tea that was making her quite tired. And then an apparition, a fire of something otherworldly attacked us. It came from the fireplace. And upon our research there, we discovered a gear missing. The flames would, instead of escaping the smoke and such escaping out the top, the trap was broken. So a fire was unavoidable, inescapable. It was an act of sabotage.
I see. And typically the person who makes tea would be Olive.
Yes. We encountered Olive, and she was possessed. And another thrilling battle ensued with an apparition of what appears to be one of the founders of the Verity line, Aglaval, I believe. We encountered him.
Yes, Argaval was the founder.
We encountered him being impaled by a sword.
That's odd. He did live to a long age.
Aglaval or Agravane?
Oh, his brother.
Yes.
Yes, my father did go on about these things.
Yes. Well, it was rather graphic, and seeing as the family motto is all about sacrifice, it would seem that motto is a little more sinister than a simple oath to live by. It seems that the sacrifice that we're talking about here, that the greatness that comes to the Verity line, doesn't come from hard work and ethic, but from literal living mortal sacrifice.
And my sister was among those. I see.
That, yes, it would seem, yes. And from what we've deduced, that there needs to be 10 sacrifices in the line. And we're at 9, which means there's only one more sacrifice to be made. And then whatever creature or pact that has been made would be at its finality. And pacts with the other world tend not to have enjoyable conclusions. So
I see. Hence why Father Ox proposed making it so that I could not conceive.
yes, but it's, if there is a pact afoot, that means there's a creature on the other side, and creatures involved in a pact are not free. They are not, they don't have what it takes yet to have all the power. The contract is not finished. So we have a small window of opportunity here against this creature, because while it is still bound by this contract, it hasn't paid out yet, in a sense. We have a chance here to do something. So while Father Ox's idea is valid, perhaps there's a more permanent solution to the problem than simply severing the Verity line on this end.
I can see that, certainly. At this point, I think Finola and Choo Choo and the groundskeeper's family probably would make their way in. You probably would hear some commotion. Shall we say that we reunite in the dining room with everyone there?
Yes.
Juniper grabs the cut-up quiche as they pass and brings it in.
Thank goodness.
I just thought people might be hungry.
Yeah, I'm lactose intolerant, but thank you.
Oh, I think there was one without cheese, and I could.
You know what? Don't worry about it. I'm not really hungry right now. Hey, it's good to see all of you. I smell bad right now. So does Finola, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, you're all wet.
Yeah, it's
a long story. They're toilet ghosts.
Earnestly, I cannot tell a difference.
Hagen, listen here, pretty boy. Did you fill in our hostess about what's happening?
I've given her all the details that we had, but judging by your demeanor and party size and 25 or so words. There's more afoot.
Yeah, we we bumped into Olive. She was packing shit to leave. Did she get out of here? Is she here? Finola, did you let her go? I didn't stick around.
I kind of just left her because she was spent.
Yeah, she's out of here. I think she is leaving. I think she's officially quit, Miss Theodosia, unfortunately.
It's probably good for her health to leave,
Good for
honestly.
her health, for sure. She needs to get out of here.
I find that shocking. Was she not just unconscious a while ago? I should check on her. She practically raised me. Adair also gets up. Yeah, she was like a second mom to me. I've got to.
Hold
like,
on,
should we
hold on,
not?
hold on. I think it's a good idea if we just stay in this room for now, and Finola and I can tell you what we discovered. We were on our way back from a toilet fiasco when we saw Olive in her bedroom. The door was cracked open. Of course, we were concerned because she was just passed out in the living room just a moment ago. She refused to open the door, but we managed to force our way open into it, and we found two damning pieces of evidence. The first thing I saw was the gear. Theodosia, Miss Theodosia, if you don't know, if Aegon didn't tell you.
No, I was told.
Yes. There was a gear missing in the chimney that basically, Dart can confirm this. It causes the chimney to malfunction, and it's likely the culprit behind the wing burning down. We found the missing gear in Olive's room.
How awful. Should we not stop her?
We have reason to believe Olive wasn't acting under her own agency. Finola?
Yeah. I believe Aegon and I both got a sense that there was something. There's been something affecting more than just Olive, I feel, in this house, to be honest. But certainly something was acting its influence upon her.
Precisely. And the blanket. I can't really read, but you saw something concerning that she was stuffing into her suitcase, right?
Oh yeah, I still have some bits of fabric. It looks like she snipped the initials off of some baby blankets. Does this one maybe look familiar to you, Theodosia?
The white one was my baby blanket. She sewed them for us. Adair reaches out to the rough Homestead one. That was mine. I haven't seen that in ages.
And this would be your sister's, I assume.
That would be Hestra's.
It's a little interesting that you all have very similar monogrammed blankets. Different fabrics, of course, but similar nonetheless.
Olive took care of us.
Did she sew a baby blanket for you as well, Flora?
I didn't grow up here.
Yes, of course.
I married into this family.
What about Juniper? Araya?
No, to be honest, Olive seemed a bit dedicated to the Verity family, and no offense, my lady, but I choose not to associate with the upper crust so much. I'm not as worshipful as some people on the estate. No offense taken, Flora. I hope you know I don't expect such actions from people. We'll see.
Well, based on Olive's response, we have reason to believe, and I know this can be a difficult pill to swallow, that Adair is either your half-brother, a nephew, or a cousin. I don't really know how family trees work, but I think you share a grandma.
Family tree. Shall we take a look at this again?
Yes, we shall.
So if we pull up the family tree, great. We can look at, we can perhaps suss out what we suspect.
So if we're being honest, Adair, you are not human, are you?
Well, I mean, as far as I know, I'm human.
Right. Yes, as far as you know. However, I think our sleuths have deduced that you do share more than just a monogrammed blanket in common with Theodosia, don't you?
I mean, I guess I don't know. This is all news to me.
I do I pull my hair back over my ear for a moment. I know it's not fun to have your race be the topic of discussion and torn apart by strangers. But for the first time in my life, I'm going to say that your race is incredibly important for the duration of this conversation, and then never again.
Could you please roll persuasion to get Adair to remove his hat with advantage?
With advantage, yeah, okay. Luckily, you guys never take me anywhere, but I have all like the persuasion and stuff because I'm the paladin. I don't know why you guys don't bring me anywhere.
It's a -3. I don't know why.
I've got +8, baby.
Wow.
That's why when you guys are like botching this whole thing, I was like, well, I wish I was.
Which is funny. I have really good persuasion. I just haven't been playing into it enough.
Oh.
I just haven't been smart enough to.
14 + 8 is 22.
22. Adair sighs, pulls his hat once again slightly over his eyes. His wife holds his shoulder and she's like, "It's okay, darling, claim your birthright." And he very slowly takes off his hat, eyes still downcast. You do see that his ears are rounder than a half-elf would be, but they do have a slight point to them. He is also bald.
They knew it.
But with his hat removed and even with his eyes downcast, you can see golden eyes. That would be atypical for humans in this area. They are more aligned with elves or people of elven lineage in this area. So it appears that he does have elven heritage, although he might not qualify as a half-elf necessarily.
I have golden rings around my pupils as well. So I sort of like make eye contact with him and like nod affirmatively. And thank you. I know. Just thank you.
My dad always said it came from my mother and he didn't like to talk about her. He lost her when she was very young, and I was kind of the cause of it, so it was hard for him.
I'm now going to ask some uncomfortable questions because it seems the very fate of this household depends on them. What happened to her?
Dad said she died in childbirth.
Okay. Does this family tree, like, I know it notes a lot of deaths. It doesn't note Junkel's death?
It doesn't note Mareem's death. Mareem was the sister of Zacharias. She died at age 34. Her cause of death was not listed. Jean-Kil, or Jean-Ki, is the grandmother. She is still alive.
Classic elf.
Yeah. She just doesn't live here.
She doesn't
Mareem
go
the
here.
older sister, do we know? Do we have like order of births?
Yeah.
Mareem and Zacharias were twins. On the Verity Family tree, you see that there is a multiple birth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My father, Zacharias, he was twins with his sister. As such, sometimes birthright doesn't necessarily have an impact on that. And in our family, it's not always the firstborn who achieves it, it's who becomes the heir. It's often the person who wishes to become the heir. My Aunt Mareem, although I didn't meet her, she was interested in botany and loved the estate. She She died quite young for a half-elf. My father inherited his position after she died. He didn't enjoy talking about her. I believe that's why he became so obsessed with genealogy after her death.
It would seem then that there are more in the Verity line than originally thought. It would mean then that, Theodosia, what you decide to do with your body, while your choice, will not have an impact on this demonic pact, because there are 2 available final sacrifices at the end of the line. We have Juniper and, is it Ryle?
Araya.
Araya. We have Juniper.
My name's Araya.
Yes, of course. This is our first conversation together.
You could have asked. Like, you didn't even introduce yourself. It's kind of rude.
Yes, incredibly rude of me.
Flora's like, it's all right, Thea. You know, the nobles, they don't always have the best manners despite what they think.
I'm going to let all of that slide for the moment, but I would like to assure you that I want nothing to do with nobility. Now, what this means is that, unfortunately, in this room, we have now the only 2 things standing between whatever made this pact and its ultimate power, which is these 2 children. So we need to get them out of here and far away from this house. And then we need... I know it's not something maybe all of you are up for, but I cannot let this demon stand. And I will do what's right for Theodosia and for this land. I can't leave this. I can't just write a paper about this. I have to do something about it. So whether you're willing to take on that battle or not is your choice, but I can't leave this unfinished.
After that, Dart will stand up and look at the family and just be like, Flora, Ade, take your kids up to the lab. We got something to do here.
Adair says, if Flora, do you mind taking the kids upstairs? I'd like to talk to Theodosia quickly. I was like, yes, of course, dear. Come along, kids.
I'll escort them upstairs.
All right. So Flora and Araya and Juniper are going upstairs with Aegon. Theodosia turns to Adair. Perhaps we should have some discussion about birthright after this. I have no interest in maintaining a ladyship here. I know you've tended the grounds rather faithfully. Perhaps we should talk about a more permanent position. Whoa, I was not expecting that. I maybe that for later. I just wanted to say it's good to have some family. That's all. I'm going to go upstairs. Theodosia, it seems quite touched, but lets him go. So who is going upstairs? Who's remaining?
I'm gonna stay down here.
All right.
I'm gonna kind of look around the room. Aegon, do you come back after taking them upstairs, or
Yeah, I'm gonna take them upstairs, mate, and I'm gonna check the seal. Is it working, or
it is cracked. So like the door is like not going to be able to lock anymore. The seal that is on the inside of the door did crack when Dart managed to make his way inside.
big demon head?
Flora is like looking at this door rather like confused. What is this place? What is all that? What is that giant clay thing?
A lot.
I'm not taking my children in there.
Look.
Araya's like, oh, this is so cool. Can I go in, Mom?
This is.
Juniper's like, no.
Of all the things that are about to happen in this house, I guarantee you, this room is the least insane thing that will be happening in the next hour or so. So I'm going to ask Theodosia and Father Ox to come up here and make sure that this seal will hold. And And then this is probably where you're going to be, and you're going to hear a lot of nonsense, possible screams, maybe some fire.
Oh my. Could you bring the holy man up? I think I might feel a bit more at ease if he were here in this strange room.
Like, my hand opens and, like, a light comes out of it. I'm like,
Oh.
yes, someone holier, of course. Right, of course. I get this all the time.
What?
It's
No,
fine.
I meant...
No. No one ever calls for a paladin. They always want a cleric. They always want a priest. No one ever asks for the
I meant
paladin.
no offense.
No, it's fine. I've done it my whole life. It's fine. And I just sort of, listen, I'm going to bring them up here, but I'm going to tell you right now that unless you hear the word pineapple, don't leave the room.
All right.
Whatever comes here, if it doesn't say that word, don't listen to it. Understood?
Pineapple, of course, for the nobles, certainly.
Look, I had it once on a family trip.
It's fine.
It's not
We'll
even
be
that,
here.
It's not even that good. I don't understand the nobles' obsession with sugars. Why can we not just have a good protein and wheat-based diet? Why the sugars? Look, that's not the point. I'm going to send for Father Ox to come up, and we're going to get this sorted. And I like think about it for a second, and then I just like lean, because like this door, like up the stairs, it's like the first door next to the stairs, isn't it? In my
Yes.
Okay. So I just sort of like, just a moment. Father Ox!
Father Ox has been silent pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
Just kind of watching it all play out. And he hears his name and nods and stands up. But before he leaves, he addresses the room. And he says, "This has gone on for too long. There can be no more running away."
I agree. Father Ox, you mentioned a way to make... Now that I know that the line has been sustained and it makes no difference, I have no desire to have children. I merely wanted to weigh my options. You mentioned that there was a way to make me not conceive any longer?
Indeed.
Should we take care of that now?
I do believe that will be the catalyst, so to speak.
I see.
The demons
right.
will not be pleased with even one option being taken from them.
That makes sense, yes.
Let me go upstairs to Aegon, and perhaps we can settle all of this.
All right. So you're about to go upstairs. Aegon, roll for initiative.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, wait. No, that's probably... Don't do that. You have to cut that. That's probably too much of that song.
Oh, no, it's not. It's fine.
Okay.
It was less than 6 seconds and it was kind of poorly rendered, so you're fine.
Ouch.
Story of my life. Poorly rendered. Story of my life. Okay. Super slow. Oh, wait. I rolled with advantage. That's not true. Good. Even worse. That makes sense. -1. I can hear Nina.
Flora turns to Juniper and in you go, dear. With greatness comes sacrifice. With sacrifice comes greatness. She takes out the knife that she took from Juniper and she slits Araya's throat.
Oh, I got magic! She's not going down.
It was Flora.
I've got
God
magic.
damn it, I almost insight checked that bitch too.
Wait, is he dead?
We called for a cleric, but luckily we have a paladin, so I can still do some stuff. It's
Cora,
not all lost.
did you do some name trickery there? Where Flora is a flower name
You can read whatever you want into it. It's just a flower name. That's
Jonquille is a flower. I don't know. I'm making stuff up.
Okay, then on my turn on the initiative, I look at her. Oh God, like she's not between me and the child, correct?
I'd say that you would have been closer to the stairwell, just calling down.
Mm-hmm.
Briefly, she and Juniper and Araya were next to the doorway that they did not go in yet.
Okay. So, but with my movement, I can like get to the kids. Yeah, you
can probably get to the kids.
Okay.
Yep.
So I shove Juniper as I go, and
Juniper was like right in front of the doorway. So if you shove them.
Pardon me. Yeah, my fault. If I'm going to shove Juniper first, I'll shove them first, and then I'm going to, as I'm shoving, I'm going to put a hand on Araya, and I'm going to do lay on hands.
Great.
And so, like, Araya goes, like, how much HP do we think an 8-year, like 8? Araya's 8?
Less than a typical commoner. A typical commoner would have 10 hit points.
Okay,
Child probably would have 5.
Cool. I give Araya
8 damage.
I give Araya 5 hit points.
Great.
So, like, as I shove Juniper in, and as they land, I grab Araya, and like holy light sort of surges out of my hand as it like lays down on Araya. I shove Araya into the room.
It's almost like a zipper effect. This blood that just like suddenly sliced across, like it's almost immediately before even enough blood can escape from his throat. And you have Flora in front of you with a knife.
I'm in full plate, sucker. I look at Flora, I draw my weapons. I'm out of actions at this point. But I draw my weapons. Do I have any cool bonus action? I'm not going to blow up bonus action on this nerd. Not yet. Actually, I will. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to then lock eyes with Flora. And as I draw my sword, I utter like holy words. And as the sword is drawn, light flashes from the blade. And I cast compelled duel. And I say, only one of us leaves this house. And as I fall into my fencing stance, and I the gleam of this holy charge shines off of the blade and catches her eyes, and she needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Great.
And it's a 16. And if she fails, then there's a whole bunch of bananas that happens after if she fails.
16.
Ah! Oh, wow.
All right, what's the bananas that happened?
Oh, does that mean she fails?
Nope, she got 16, so she passes because you said she needed to get 16.
Yeah, no, okay. Well, then what was going to happen was then there's going to be a bunch of nonsense that she can't walk away from me, and she it's like what it sounds like. It's a compelled duel. So if she had failed, the creature is drawn to you, compelled by divine command for the duration. They have disadvantage on attack rolls against other creatures other than you. They must make a wisdom saving throw each time they try to move away from you. It's just a bunch of banana stuff to keep her in place. But she passed, so none of that happens.
My child is going to be the next liege. No one will stop me, not even you. And she goes to lunge at you. But you had your turn. She had her turn. Everyone probably hears this downstairs. Everyone else, please roll initiative.
Oh my god.
So I just want to point out that we tried to beat up this kid's dad in front of them, and now we're going to straight up murk their mom in front of them. These kids are not going to grow up great. I'm so sorry.
Theodosia's rich. She can afford therapy, right?
I got a 9.
Woo.
Right.
Better than my -1.
I was trying to rack my brain so much there to be like, why would Dart incite Flora? Because I don't trust her, but the whole time I was like, it's nothing. She's not doing anything.
Yeah. Too
But it was
sneaky.
when she took the knife, I'm like, nope, don't like that.
I had a feeling about it, but I was like, Choo Choo wouldn't find it.
1 through 5, anyone? No? 5 through 10?
9.
9. 10 through 15?
15.
15.
15 of the two of you who wishes to go first.
Who's more dexterous? It's probably you.
Yes,
eh?
that's who has the greater initiative.
My initiative is +3.
Mine's -1, so it's definitely
All
you.
right, so
Okay.
Finola will be the second 15, Dart will be the first 15, and then we also have 15 through 20. Great. Sorry, what number was that, C? Oh, you're muted.
16.
16. Thank
Can you also throw like Dogged in at a 6?
And Dogged at a 6.
Oh, maybe not. Poor baby only has 9 hit points.
Where is Dogged currently, by the way?
That's a good question. I think he's kind of made his way back to the parlor because that's where I am.
All right. I'm going to say that anyone who's downstairs, it will take a full action, or like if, depending on your speed, to get up the stairs, so like at least 6 seconds. Yes, C.
Can I say that perhaps because Father Ox was already on his way?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. You can be halfway up the
Halfway
stairs.
there?
Sure, absolutely.
Great. Is it my turn?
Then I think we went Flora, Aegon, people rolled for initiative. I think it would be Flora and then you were at the top of the order again. So Flora is going to take a swing at Aegon with her knife.
19 AC, so.
Oh my gosh.
Try and hit me.
Flora's a killer.
No, not 20.
19
God.
with like a +1 with proficiency. Only 2 damage. She manages to slash your pretty little cheek.
I like look. I eye her very, very seriously and say, "I have slain creatures taller, broader, and far more frightening than whatever you think you are." And just like flip my hair for a moment and let the blood sort of like splatter for a second. Now get out of my way. Okay, continue.
Oh, you think you're just battling a mere woman, are you? All right, that's Flora's turn. Father Ox, you are at the top of the stairs, I think, at this point.
I have waited the entire campaign to do what I'm about to do.
Yay! I love that.
Let's get out!
I think the last thing that Flora says is, "But you won't be able to stop me, right?" Father Ox, perhaps. I think she said something like that to Aegon.
She said something about, like, you're not, I think I'm a mere woman. You think that I'm a mere woman.
Oh.
But before that, she did say, nothing will stop me.
Perhaps we'd like to rethink this. Father Ox crests the stairs with far more dexterity than he had earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And calmly, pointedly, he is going to do 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to take his holy water,
Mm-hmm.
slapdash it across her face.
Okay.
Not actually hitting her, but uncork right out.
Great.
And after that, almost like it's gasoline, he's going to open his mouth and use his breath weapon.
Great. Amazing. I forgot about that when you built Father Ox.
It's time!
He opens his mouth and a huge plume of fire erupts, just rolls off of his tongue. And he breathes like a motherfucking dragon. And that is going to be a dex save.
All right. First, I will say that the holy water ignited a different reaction, but so you can. So as holy water hits, as we have encountered before, when Olive was hit with the holy water, a dark cloud emits from Flora's body as her body falls unconscious to the ground. We can say that perhaps your breath weapon hits whatever is coming out, if you prefer, than Flora's unconscious body on the ground. So again, this like plume of smoke starts to take force as a figure, but your fire actually zooms in on it pretty immediately. Would you like to do, I guess we don't roll for a dexterity check, you said?
Dexterity
save?
yeah.
That won't do it. You hit. I rolled like a 2, so I was like, even with modifiers, not gonna do it.
Great. That is gonna be 3d6 fire damage.
Ooh.
2, 6, 5, 2, 6, and 5.
13.
13 points of fire damage. And then I am going to use my reaction. The flames roll off of his tongue, hit the flame, and just like circle back. And I'm going to activate my other feature, which is Flames of Felagos. I don't know how to pronounce it.
That's okay.
Which means that whenever I cast a spell that deals fire damage, I can cause flames to wreath around me until the end of my next turn. It will not harm me or my possessions. It sheds bright light, and while the flames are present, any creature within 5 feet of me that hits me with a melee attack will take 1d4 fire damage.
Nice. All right. Does that take effect on your next turn, or?
It's a reaction.
Reaction. Okay.
Yep. So the flames roll out of his mouth, and then just kind of like circle around him.
Excellent.
Kind of
okay.
like looking at his feet.
Cool.
Approaches.
Awesome. All right. So that was Father Ox. Next in the order we have Dart. Are you going to run up the stairs?
Dart's gonna look at Father Ox first and be like, "Holy cow!"
You get an inspiration.
That's what I've been waiting the whole campaign for.
Very good. Very good.
But yeah, no. Dart will run up and gets up to the top of the stairs, and he's like, he just kind of like freezes a bit and looks at Flora, and he's like, "Oh, well, we're gonna need a little help from my friends on this one, and I'm gonna use summon undead spirit again, but this time instead of a ghost, I'm gonna summon a putrid, so it's like a zombie kind of type thing.
Okay.
Again, you can decide like who it is, if there's any bodies anywhere.
I'm trying to think of like, there's no bodies that would be on the area here.
Would the tomb be in range? Like the cemetery, the little graveyard?
The cemetery is quite a ways away, so I'm just trying to think of bodies. I would say if you got a ghost, you could control it and it would do what you want. And there might be some interesting
I want
surprises.
the attacks of what the
of a putrid
zombie
thing.
one
Okay.
was.
I'm just trying to think of like where a zombie would come from. I'm just trying to freeze here.
It's not coming from that kid.
Oh, you know what? Oh God. No, I just thought of something awful. I'm so sorry. Oh, hold on. I gotta.
Oh no. Is it gonna be Olive? Did Olive ice herself? Oh.
You hear a moan come from the second floor from the servants' quarters.
No.
Olive's undead form moves forward. That's Olive. Sorry, everyone.
I promised when I left her she was still alive.
Okay, so when I see Olive come out, so I was just like, oh, well, shit. I mean, that ain't what I wanted, but fuck, anyone who's uncomfortable, look away, but Olive, can you get,
All right, Olive's shambling form moves forward.
Can I do like a quick insight to be like, how did she die?
Yeah.
We say, what do we like? Investigation, perception.
I
What
mean,
do we?
usually it'd be medicine, I'd say, but like if you want to do like investigation, or
Okay, could it please be investigation?
Sure.
Okay, then 15.
15. She was old and not in very good
Oh.
state when you saw her. And if you recall, during the battle with the Wraith before, he told her that she had failed him for the last time. She was panicking and trying to leave when Finola saw her. So she might have just died from a heart attack, might have died from some unearthly thing.
Oh,
That's what happens when you leave people alone in their danger, sadly.
this house is
Awful.
very, very unwelcoming.
All right. Olive shambling form goes forward. How does Olive attack the Wraith?
Well, she uses her rotting claw.
That's not rotting yet.
Not yet.
I mean, maybe your magic has like, made it putrid. She uses her rotting claws.
Oh no, it's just an old lady. You just
So she just scratches at Flora.
At Flora rather than the Wraith that popped up?
Oh, I missed that somewhere.
Yes. So when Father Ox poured holy water onto Flora, she fell to the ground unconscious as this gaseous cloud form came out of her mouth, much similar to when Olive was possessed.
Okay, then no, she'll swipe at the Wraith then.
All right, so she goes forward to the Wraith, completely ignoring Flora's unconscious form on the ground, and swipes. So roll for your attack and damage. I'm so sorry, everyone. I feel really bad about Olive.
No, you don't. You did it. This is
Olive is
world.
based on my grandmother. I feel really bad about Olive.
Oh no.
Nina can attest. Olive is a family name.
Nina's there like peeing her pants.
Yeah. My Nana's never gonna see this. It's fine.
Listen, I don't know how tough Olive was in life, but now she just got a 24 to hit.
Yeah, that hits for sure.
Throwing haymakers.
And she does
Oh my god.
13 points of damage, of slashing damage.
Excellent.
Excuse me, what?
That's why I wanted the putrid, because it's a pretty badass attack.
And
it's not necrotic, so
this Wraith does not have damage resistance or an immunity to necrotic. I mean, to the putrid damage. So interesting. Nice. All right. Do you end your turn?
I think so. Let me just see if I have any kind of cool.
Nice.
Hold on, give me a second. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, I'm going to use a bonus action. And I'm going to take the form of dread.
Ooh.
So this is basically I am channeling all the power that's left within me. Without so I'm gonna do it so like I talk to Father Diecrest within me. And I'm like, look, you're gonna help me with this. You work for me right now. You want this house, then we gotta clear this house, and that thing's taking it. So you let me do what I need to do.
We're working as a team now, I think. Let's do this.
And I'm gonna take form of dread. So like it's gonna be kind of my scars, I think, are gonna intensify. My burns are gonna like almost start to look like they're fresh again. Like I'm gonna start to look like my skin is searing, like maybe there's a faint like burning glow about it, sort of thing. So everything just looks fresh on me. And I don't think the one thing that it does is gonna work in this fight, but I gain some temporary hit points.
Nice.
I gain 15 temporary.
Nice.
Temp. And then my turn's over.
All right. Finola. You'll have to use all your movement to get up the stairs.
Yeah, okay. So when I get up the stairs, though, I'm in a good spot?
Yep.
I'm with everybody?
Yeah, you didn't go from the dining room. You went from the parlor, you were saying.
parlor,
So, yes.
yeah.
Is Doggett with you as well?
Yes.
Great.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, and the Wraith is still intact, right?
Mhm.
Well, I'm just gonna have to attack that then, I suppose. I should have prepared more before my turn. Let me have a quick look at what I have in my life.
Look at what I have in my whole life. What is this?
My whole life. This is the moment that Finola takes to reevaluate every choice that led her down the path of celebrity and brought her here to this moment. You know what? I think we're just gonna do some good old standard cantrip stuff for now. Everyone else is pulling out all the stops, but we're just going to Sacred Flame this baby. Can you do a dex save for me?
That is a 4 + 3, 7. So I'm assuming does not save.
It does not save. And so, oh, I have damage dice to roll. No, no, no.
Ah!
This
Sorry.
is going very well.
I mean, it sounds like it will be hitting. That's why she's getting damage dice, so.
There we go. 10. That'll be, yeah, so that'll be 10 radiant damage.
Right. Ooh, radiant.
Yeah.
Are we talking vulnerability?
Yes, we are talking vulnerability.
That
So
was my
great, because all
guess.
of my attacks do radiant damage.
That was my guess when you said Wraith.
Mm-hmm.
I learned my lesson from the last time I did a campaign that had ghosty things in it. It's hard to.
You mean don't take all necrotic damage?
Yeah.
I didn't. All my stuff is necrotic.
Oh.
No.
But again, I do story before character build, so I'm like, it would not make sense.
But you were there for that campaign, Richard.
I know.
Don't mind me. I'm just going to pick up. But anyway, some nice Sacred Flame.
So because this wraith has Sacred Flame shoots forth from you and hits this like cloudy thing that is starting to take form. But when your Sacred Flame hits this cloud, it almost like goes through right where the sword is impaled in its body. With the vulnerability, it doubles the damage, which means you do 20 damage.
That's right.
All right.
And that's what you
that
get for doing
whole-
your research.
That whole kind of almost stays where the sword would be impaled in this creature. Do you end your turn?
Yes, I end my turn.
Great. That's at the end of Finola's turn, so that's Choo Choo's turn.
Okay. Choo Choo rushes up the stairs, unsheaths her lance, gets it out to the full lancing situation, and launches herself at this wraith. As she's flying through the air, launching herself at this wraith, she goes, "What, but Olive?" And she's gonna she's raging though. As she went up the stairs, she's like, rally, letting out this like roar of fury. She's gonna go for it.
Great.
Let's see. I'm gonna use my inspiration to reroll out.
That's what it's there for. If people have it, I recommend you use it.
Okay. Does a 12 hit?
A 12 does not hit.
Okay. So the first attack does not hit. I think maybe it just goes through the form.
Where this new hole has been placed from the in this ghostly body. where Sacred Flame hit from Finola earlier, like just slightly earlier. So now it's like, darn.
And she is going to use her extra attack to do the thing. To do the thing. Come on, buddy. That's a natural 19.
Nice, that hits for sure.
It is going to take. I rolled an 11 on my damage dice, so that is going to be in total. 11 plus 4 is 15, plus 2 is 17. 17 points of piercing damage.
Your lance, the second time, goes into this hole and almost like points up, creating like this illusion of its shoulder disappearing now. It's almost like the clouds start like, as you see the face take shape to be that young face that you saw once before, the clouds kind of start disappearing where your lance has pierced.
Okay.
Its gaseous form kind of starts almost to disappear. Now this would be Doggett's turn if Choo-Choo ends her
Yes,
turn.
Choo-Choo ends her turn.
What do you want Doggett to do? Is Doggett just going to write?
Doggett is going to use his bonus action to cast Bardic Inspiration on...
Aegon would be next in the order.
Aegon.
Doggett goes like, I still really like your book. Your journal's beautiful. The binding's gorgeous. That's your little inspiration right there.
And otherwise, he's just going to ready a dodge.
Get out of the way.
In case he gets attacked.
Doggett, dodge it.
Okay.
He's soft.
Aegon,
He's a
you're
soft
next in
boy.
the order.
Yeah. Okay. So, I have a lot of fancy moves, but right now I have that. I'm filled with Bardic Inspiration, and I've got to use it. So, okay, I'm going to use Inspiration and Bardic Inspiration. Well, let's do let's do it all. I want to hit this thing. So I'm going to use Bardic Inspiration as well as rolling one of my Inspiration dice to, please, I just want to nail this Wraith. Oh, that better hit. Let's see. Some bananas like 29. Does 29 hit?
29, I think hits. Yeah.
Good, because
What are you hitting with?
I am swinging my longsword, but I'm going to smite. I'm going to smite
Great.
on this hit. So, as like I sort of like pull myself into position and give like just a perfect thrust, like pulling the blade to the side and then lunging forward, perfect form, and cautiously remembering to daintily step over our poor Flora on the floor. I smite on this hit. So I'm going to use a second level smite because I want this thing to feel it. So here we go. So that's going to be 1d8 plus 2d8 plus another d8. And then, if I'm not mistaken, Divine Smites do more damage. No, they don't. Okay, yeah, they don't do anything special. Oh, wait. Is this creature a fiend or undead?
Undead.
Oh, it's going to do even more PV. I'm laying into this thing. Okay, so the sword strike itself is going to be the only thing not radiant here. So the sword strike is 11 damage. And then I need 1, 2, 3, 4 d8s. And these are all radiant.
Wow. Yep.
And then I assume it's vulnerable, so this will be
It
doubled.
is vulnerable, so this will be doubled.
So 9 and 10 is 19. So 38 damage. advantage from this like, glorious thrust.
Agan, you have long not believed in ghosts. You have always thought, just, well, they're out there. Yeah, you know, you've done your stories. This is the first time you've ever encountered anything of that sort. Like, you've encountered hacks, curses, you've encountered, you know, devils, demons, various things. This is the first time you've encountered true ghosts. And this is also the first time you have dispelled one from this realm. Your sword seeps into the cloudy form of this wraith. In that hole within it that was opened up by Finola's strike, in where the lance has parted its shoulder, these clouds completely dispel, and you see the face of this young man reach out for you and mouth, "Oh," as his form is entirely dispelled. This blue light turns into radiant light, fills the room, and clattering to the ground in its place is a goblet that you will all find in your clue kits.
So fancy.
Good, good.
I wouldn't drink from that.
Good, 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 good.
Sweet, sweet lead-based paint.
Oh, it's acrylic.
It's acrylic.
Okay.